Yo, Nickelodeon, what's going on? This episode got leaked. It was online yesterday. People were PMing me stuff. Their messages, oh, this episode took my breath away. It's a breathtaking episode, pun intended. What is going on, Nickelodeon? It's a good thing that Disney Channel doesn't pull the same thing you do, because if somebody tells me, if somebody spoils what's going to happen on Liv and Maddie, I'm going to throw a fit. You can spoil Avatar, you can spoil One Piece, Naruto, whatever, but don't fuck with me with Liv and Maddie. What's going on in that studio? It's like, do you have SpongeBob and Ariana Grande locked in a room giggling over leaking these episodes? Like, another one, SpongeBob. Getting into the episode. You think freedom is something that you can give or take on a whim. But to your people, freedom is just as essential as air. And without it, there is no life. Only darkness. Yo, can we just make Zaheer the main character of the show already? I don't want The Legend of Korra to be this dark. I want it to get darker. The thing I like about Zaheer is that, you know, in this episode, we kind of get the feeling that even though he's the antagonist of the show, he's really not irrational, which I like. It's like, I mean, because instead of just, you know, beating Mako and Bolin to a pulp, he says, okay, I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to need you to deliver a message. And then, you know, the whole thing with the Queen, the reason why it escalated to that point is because the Queen was being annoying. She was being just very, very hard-headed. She didn't want to compromise. She was locked on wanting to know where her airbenders were. You drove Zaheer to a point where it's like, okay, fine, you know, you want me to be the bad guy? I'll be the bad guy. Gazan, now the lava bender mustache dude. This guy took down a Bossing Say wall like it was nothing. And I'm not shitting on Iroh, okay? I'm just saying, look, it took Iroh, you know, he had to wait for the comet to be able to bend fire strong enough to blow a hole through the wall. It took the freaking comet for him to do that. Azula she made a drill to try and get through that wall. This guy comes up like, oh, here we go down, motherfucker. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't like Azula have a group of Daily agents take down part of the wall? And they were earthbenders, and it took more than one to take down that portion of the wall. And they're kind of teasing the Bolin being able to metal bend thing a lot. I still think he should be able to lava bend, but maybe they're going to do the same thing that they did with Korra season 1, in which she learns to airbend by the end of the season. I do think it was kind of cool though how like they were in prison and then Mako's like, you can do it, Bolin, it's up to you, because that's really how Toph learned to metal bend. Asami gets an A+ from me in this episode because, and Korra was cool too, but especially Asami because, you know, the episode kind of puts forth the idea, and we kind of already knew this, that even though she can't bend, she's just super sharp, incredibly intelligent when it comes to mechanics and, you know, craftsmanship. This episode was Asami's time to shine in a way, even though, like, you know, the sand glider just fell apart by the end. I thought that was really funny. And then they find Zuko's dragon in that town, which I thought Zuko, I think, even though I really like him, I thought the episode didn't really need him. But, you know, it's good to have the reunion at the end there. Lin was especially kind of funny in this episode, you know, with finding Naga and Pabu. Makes Pabu like this. In other news, my pants are now yellow thanks to Naga's roar. I think having Korra surrounded by these expert benders, wiser, older people is going to have a huge role in next week's episode, which is called The Ultimatum, which has to be related to the message that Zaheer wanted Bolin and Mako to tell Korra. So I think it's probably going to be something like, hey, you know, if you don't join us, we're going to start doing exactly what we did to the Earth Queen to other politicians, other leaders around the world. So if you, as the Avatar, want to maintain your vision of world balance, okay, in order to stop us from being aggressive, you need to come with us, at least for a bit, for a while. Because this episode was basically just a way of telling the viewers, hey, we're not fucking around. Like, we're for real. Like, we just killed somebody in a kid's show. So it ends with a serious ending, but at the same time, I like the beginning because it kind of pokes fun at the cliche storytelling of having the villains locked up for 13 years and then just busting off of jail. Because yes, you have other stories with villains being incarcerated for very long periods of time. But in this show, Bolin actually puts himself in you know, the enemy's shoes, and he's like, man, if I were locked up for 13 years, I would have gone crazy. Thought the episode was good. It's getting dark. I don't know how dark you want to go. Leave me your thoughts about this episode in the comment section down below. Likes are always appreciated, and subscriptions, you know, just to get more content from my channel. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye. If I was Zaheer, I think I would have bented the gas out of the queen's butt and then, you know, put it up against her nose and have her smell it. Just take one giant whiff of her own fart.